I'm going to talk about General Tullius.
You people and your damn yards.
Where is
Sir,
he?
You can't
I lost
force
him.
a Nord to
I'm
accept
lost.
help he hasn't asked for.
If Alfred's making a move for Whiterun, then we need to be there to
so there he is. So there's General Tullius.
Draft another letter with the usual platitudes, but this
basically,
time share some of your intelligence regarding Alfred's
if you think
plans.
his job is so easy, it's not. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, I'm not saying because war is easy, war is hard. I mean, it's beyond hard. He's in a civil war, and it's not just a civil war. I guess within Cyrodiil, I guess it's literally in a different province. So part of the province, wants complete a secession. The other part wants to stay with the Empire. And so this is a difficult situation for Tullius because, for one, he's not from Skyrim, and let's talk to him for a little bit.
Are my men now giving free rein to anyone who wanders into the? Do you have some reason to be here, citizen?
Oh, is it Helgen? I believe we already met. Alright, I believe we already met. Let's try this one.
Have we? Oh, of course. You were at Helgen. One of the prisoners, if I recall correctly. Hadvar's alive, but he hasn't reported in yet.
Let's skip through all of that. Let's
in the
go
meantime,
blah, blah, blah.
I suspect.
Alright, so let's just ask him
I'm sure your being imprisoned was all a terrible misunderstanding. Speak with Legate Ricka.
Alright, have you always lived in Skyrim?
I'm originally from Cyrodiil, sent here at the request of the Emperor himself. I'm often ordered to places with problems that need fixing. Now, while I'm certain this is all terribly interesting to you, I have important matters to attend.
Sir.
Okay. Alright, so he's from Cyrodiil and he's here to crush this rebellion. Now let's get out of this little chamber because I'm pretty sure most of y'all are feeling claustrophobic right now. Let's step outside into solitude. Are we actually outside if we're in solitude? Well, I guess we are, yeah, we're outside. I'm just being dumb at the moment. But yeah, so let's continue talking about General Tullius. So his job is not so easy. He's in a very difficult position. So
I used to be
imagine this. So
like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
He has to control this Imperial army, which again, most of it is locals. I believe it was said somewhere, or maybe I was listening to other lore guys talk, but yeah, majority of the Imperials are basically locals. The Imperial soldiers are local Nords. And of course, when you go into the different camps, you will see different officers, you'll see a elf, like a wood elf, a dark elf, and I believe if you have a mod, you have more of a diverse group in the Imperial army, and I think you might have some orc soldiers, orc officers, but that's with the mod and all that stuff. But yeah. Oh, by the way, I did modify Solitude. If you noticed, that's a little bit unusual than the usual Solitude.
Staying safe, I hope.
See these gates right here? Yeah. But anyways, so Tullius, he has to control an Imperial army. Most of it is basically made up of Nordic soldiers. Now, there are 3 types of Nordic soldiers. And I've analyzed this and I realized that there's actually 3 types of Imperial soldiers. I think I said Nordic soldiers, but what I meant to say was Imperial soldiers. So there are 3 types of these soldiers. So yeah, this screen is taking a while to load, but yeah, there's 3 types. The first type, they are Nords who served in the Imperial army during the Great War. That is the first category, or the first type. However, whatever is preferable. I think category is better. So yeah, the first category are the soldiers who have fought in the Great War. Then you have the second category, the Nordic soldiers who joined the Imperial army after the Great War, before the Skyrim Civil War. And then you have the third category, which are the Nordic soldiers who have joined the Imperial Army during the Civil War. So those are the 3 types of Nordic soldiers serving in the Imperial Army. Now these 3 categories can also be applied to the Stormcloak Army at the same time. Like, you could easily apply those categories. And so basically, like, let's just say you have an Imperial soldier who of course is a Nord, and he joined in the middle of the Civil War because he believes the Empire is right and he wants to fight for the right cause. But eventually, you know, like something happens, you know, he starts to have doubts about the Empire. Well, he's not the only soldier. There's going to be other soldiers with him or with her who have joined the Empire in the middle of the Civil War, and then they have this kind of a guilt trip. Like, this guilt trip shows up in their minds, where they feel guilty for kind of fighting against their relatives who are high rim, you know, not for this empire that's forbidding Talos worship, and not for an empire that allows justiciars to walk around and arrest. They allow justiciars to arrest citizens for worshiping Talos. So this third category in the Imperial Army, this third category of Nords who serve in the Imperial Army, they are not really too reliable. Like, especially, I think if you put them all together, like, let's say there's a unit of 20 of them somewhere serving in an outpost. It could be, you know, like, maybe they could start talking, having doubts, and they could share those doubts amongst each other. And like, and again, if they're like fresh, brand new, they started to join the war in the middle. Sorry, they joined the Imperials in the middle of the Civil War. Then there's a chance that they might have doubts and might do some sabotage, might do some desertions, and just, you know, like, or desert at the wrong moments, like in the most inconvenient time for the Empire. Maybe they're winning victories somewhere, but then all of a sudden an entire garrison joins the Stormcloaks, something like that. So if General Tullius is smart, he would mix up the units, like basically, you know, like, make it more diverse. You know, have more of the older veterans who fought in the Great War, like, have them be mixed up with those soldiers to kind of encourage them. And yeah, and so, like, basically, that's not too bad. Like, so, like, that situation could still be fixed. It's fixable. And how do I get out of here? I'm trying to get to Dragon Bridge. You guys see how I've modded Solitude, but yeah, now I'm stuck right here. Actually, if I could jump over this wall and get to Dragon's Bridge. Oops. Oh, I guess whatever. Could have just walked around, I guess. or oh yeah, Catless Farm. Yeah. See, guys, I'm totally not awake today. I'm just tired, and I'm doing stupid things, and I'm probably saying stupid things at the moment. I don't know, like. But yeah, so those are the 3 categories of Nordic soldiers serving in the Imperial Army. Now, like, and that's not so bad. So, except for, like, for that third category, which could still be fixed, that situation could still kind of be mended. But here's another problem. Each hold, it doesn't matter if they are controlled by the Stormcloaks or the Imperials. Let's fast travel. This is taking way too long. I should have got a horse somewhere. But basically, each hold has their own separate army at the same time. Whiterun, of course, Solitude, not Solitude, Hafengar would be the proper term. Solitude is the capital of Hafengar and all of Skyrim. But Hafengar, Falkreath, Eastmarch, the Rift, every hold has their own little army, and on top of that, each city has their own city guards. Now, like, here's the thing though, like, a lot of these hold guards and the city guards, they're not serving in the Imperial Army. Now you could be thinking, well, yeah, they're serving, the Jarl who's loyal to the Empire, but that does not mean that their soldiers are happy with it. They're not. That doesn't mean that half their soldiers might not like their Jarl's decision. And yes, so you guys see where I'm getting at? This Skyrim Civil War is literally not as easy as you think, especially if you are trying to support the Imperial side and you think that the Empire will easily crush this rebellion. It's not so easy. Given the fact that each hold has their own army, and so imagine this. Imagine the Jarl of Falkreath. He eventually starts to piss off his own soldiers a lot. And let's just hypothetically assume that half his soldiers are already not happy with him siding with the Imperials, but they're kind of thinking, okay, well, we're serving with our brothers and sisters, and we'll just gotta protect Falkreath, and that's it, right? But then eventually the Jarl of Falkreath does something stupid to piss them off, and so eventually half of those soldiers, they could do a lot of damage. Maybe not necessarily during battle, but they could be stationed at some checkpoints protecting the hold. Guess what happens? Those guys could eventually raise up the banners of the Stormcloaks in their holds and allow Stormcloak troops to just walk past those checkpoints, and Falkreath's in danger. So yeah, so having hold guards, giving them independence, because look at this guy, he's a hold guard of Hofengar, so he's ready. Well, it says Imperial soldier. He's not an Imperial soldier, guys. This is a part of the mod, but yeah. But basically that's a hold soldier walking around. This is an Imperial. This guy's Imperial, and if you have vanilla Skyrim, you guys don't have the mods, then yeah, you will not see this character in Dragonbridge, and obviously you will not see this arc, and you will not see this arc in these towers. You will not see any of this in vanilla Skyrim. Yeah, and yes, so this is supposed to say not Imperial soldier, but Hofengar guard, or Hofengar hold guard, or whatever. But yeah. So imagine the soldiers in Hofengar. Actually, the soldiers in Hofengar might be more pro-imperial. It is the capital, and there's a stronger imperial force presence.
Quiet day.
But basically, in Falkreath, you could have soldiers who are more loyal to Skyrim than to the Empire, and then what? General Tullius has to deal with this. His job is not so easy. Think about that. Think about how difficult his job is. He doesn't just have to think of some smart strategy to take over Stormcloak territory. He has to worry about rebellions from within. These guys could literally, maybe they don't like Jarl Elisif. Maybe they support Ulfric. Do you guys remember in the very beginning of the game when they tried to execute the guy for letting Ulfric escape? He was a soldier. He was a Solitude city guardsman. He allowed Ulfric to escape, and so yeah. So and here's the thing. Maybe there's more of him like that. Maybe there are more soldiers within Solitude's city guard that are like that. Maybe let's just fast travel somewhere. Let's see. Where should I go? Speaking of Falkreath, let's go to Falkreath, right? So yeah, the hold guards are even more unreliable. So when I mentioned the 3 categories of Nordic soldiers serving inside the Imperial forces, the third category, it's kind of more the least reliable. They're the least reliable because they're fighting against their own countrymen. Oh, whoa, that's a lot of that's a lot of guards.
Would never be the same.
Yeah, these are Falkreath guards. Yeah, imagine these guys. Imagine 20 of them. Out of, hypothetically speaking, let's just say inside the city, 20 of them out of, I don't know, 200. That's just a random number. I don't know how many soldiers they would have for real, because obviously in the game all the towns are smaller and like they're tiny. But if this was a real world, they'd be bigger and more populated, of course. But let's just assume 200 soldiers. They're still loyal to Falkreath, to the Jarl, who was pro-imperial, right? But then you have 20 soldiers who are Ulfric loyalists or Skyrim loyalists or whatever. They support Ulfric. Those 20 soldiers, they could do some serious sabotage. They could probably open the gates and let the Stormcloaks in case something bad happens. Anything could happen with Falkreath. Not just Falkreath, but any hold guards. Maybe all these guards are plotting. Maybe all of them. Maybe 100% of them. The city guards in Falkreath and the Falkreath guards outside of town. Maybe they're all secretly plotting on how to overthrow the Jarl of Falkreath and like try to kind of fight off the Imperial garrisons. Of course, you don't really see Imperial garrisons out here in Falkreath Hold, but if there was a real world like Skyrim, yeah, you would see Imperial garrisons somewhere around Falkreath Hold. And so maybe the Falkreath guys are secretly plotting to overthrow the pro-Imperial Jarl that they have and maybe put his uncle back on the throne. We don't know that. Like, I mean, of course, we have what the game gives us, of course, so we have the scripts in the game. But, like, when you deal with civil wars are literally so tricky. And so General Tullius, he has to worry about these guys. That's why he's like on edge most of the game. He even tells Rika, yeah, you Nords and your traditions and your ways. And remember, like the guard in Solitude, he was going by traditions, by the ways of his people.
I can't really help
anything could happen.
I'm just 10 years maid.
Yeah, so General Tullius's job is not so easy, and that's why I decided to make this video, is to kind of remind you guys on how basically if you support the Empire, just realize how hard it actually is to quell this rebellion. And remember, this rebellion has been, or civil war, to be more accurate, this civil war has been going on for at least a year probably, and there were probably, soldiers defecting from maybe both sides. Maybe there were some Stormcloaks who defected, but I doubt that. I believe there would be more Imperial soldiers defecting to the Stormcloaks, and hold guards. Hold guards have a higher chance. They have a higher chance of defecting. They're not bound by the Imperials. They're not bound by those guys wearing the Imperial uniform. They're bound by their hold. They're bound by the traditions of their hold, and again, they have a better, a better chance of kind of just defecting to the Stormcloaks. And I believe General Tullius is probably worried about that. Like the Civil War could just turn out to be a huge disaster for him. And so yeah, I believe I covered everything I could about General Tullius and how difficult his job can be. So that's something to think about. His job is not so easy. Oh, Mara, Goddess of Love. By the way, guys, I have the mod where you can marry almost anybody, and I eventually plan on marrying Jarl Elisif. And I plan on doing something funny. Like after I marry Jarl Elisif, I'll join the Stormcloaks, and imagine how big of a shock would that be? The Queen's lover. She's widowed and she fell in love again, and her lover, the man that she loved, he joins the Stormcloaks.
Papa says
that's such a dramatic story. That would be a good script for some kind of fantasy novel. What do you guys think? So yeah, so don't trust the hold guards too much. If you are going to join the Imperial side, look at these guys training. They're being trained, and this guy right here, Captain Albus, Captain Albus. Let's talk to him for a bit.
Good to have you by my side, friend.
You were presiding over the
Not
execution.
my finest hour. Rogvir was a fine and honorable man.
Yeah, you see how he said Rogvir was fine and honorable man? So this means that he still kind of sympathizes with Rogvir. What if he sympathizes with Rogvir, maybe if the Imperials do something stupid, he might actually command his Solitude guards to kill off the Imperials, and because this is where the Imperials are gathered in the city. Then of course you have Fort Hrockstad, but yeah, like these guys could literally just turn their backs at any moment, and like maybe like they'll think of a plan on helping the Stormcloaks. If they get close enough to the city, they will just turn on the guards and let the Stormcloaks in, and boom. So yeah, like even these guys who are training, they cannot be fully trusted. They're not bound by these. It says Solitude Guard. Obviously, you tell by the uniform that they are Imperial soldiers. I don't know why it says that. They're not really Solitude Guards. But anyways, yeah, you guys get the point. Yeah, so, like, just, hey guys, so sometimes I would like to stand in front of these and see if they'll hit me. Sometimes they'll hit me. Like, I just want to, yeah, it just depends. Like,
Someday soon you will all see battle,
shoot.
and
Oh,
what you do here
never
today
mind.
may well save
Yeah.
lives.
I do silly things like that sometimes. But, that's basically it. So just think about this. Yeah, because I was thinking about that. I was thinking, yeah, like the Hold guards could just turn at any moment. If Rogvir could do it, 10 more of him can do it. And if 10 more of him could do it, 20 more, 30 more, 100 more. An entire unit, like 100 men, could literally just switch sides and do some damage. So yeah, like this is not an easy situation for the guys who are Imperials. That's why I believe that's like not so difficult for the Stormcloaks to win after all. Although they have a smaller army, but again, they might have the hearts of the people. That is what matters here. And okay, so I'm signing out. Like, hope you guys enjoyed my little analysis, and y'all have a great day, great night, whatever time you guys are watching this. Yeah, so if you're watching this in the morning, good morning, you have a great day, and if you're watching this at night, you have a wonderful night. Sleep tight. Adios.